Hi guys, today I'm here with a recipe that is most popular but also most challenging one. It is none other than French macaron. This recipe has been requested by some of my viewers and here it is. This is so delicious and tempting dessert that you will not be able to stop eating until you finishes the whole batch. Before heading to the video, please subscribe my channel for new videos each week. We have always heard that the macarons are so tough to make, but I promise with this video you will succeed in making these macarons. Make sure you watch till the end as I included some of the tips and tricks in getting a perfect macarons so that you can make them in the right way. A perfect macaron must have shiny and uniform sized shells with smooth and delicate exterior. It should have a soft and chewy interior along with an even fit and a creamy filling. To start off our macarons, we need 70 grams of almond flour or almond meal, 120 grams of powdered sugar, icing sugar or confectioner sugar. All are the same thing, it's just the different names used in different parts of the world. Now let's see our dry ingredients. So what I did was I pre-measured my almond flour and then I blended for about 5 minutes in a blender. This helps to break down any large piece of almond to a fine powder. If you want, you can blend both icing sugar and almond flour together and then save. To get a perfect macarons, always measure your ingredients accurately. I would rather go with measuring my ingredients by weight than using cup because these macarons need precise ratios to get a perfectly finished macaron. Now there will be few bits left out at the top which doesn't go through. Just toss it back to our flour packet, adding 1/4 teaspoon of salt and combine everything together. The dry ingredients should be really fine to get that smooth top. So the finer our dry ingredients, the smoother our top is gonna be. Now let's make our meringue. Using a hand mixer or a stand mixer with a whisker attachment, let's whip up our egg whites. I used aged egg whites. Pour your measured egg whites in a glass container. Wrap the bowl with a cling wrap and poke few holes in the wrap. Place this in the fridge for 24 hours and then bring it back to room temperature before making our meringue. Now let's start whipping our egg whites into a firm peak. This is a very important process. First whip our egg white at medium speed. Now you would be wondering why we used aged egg whites. By aging our egg whites, they become dehydrated, which prevent over whipping and helps to create a strong meringue with a perfect stiff peak. Once our egg whites starts to become really frothy, that's when we're gonna add in our sugar. Here I have taken 50 grams of granulated sugar and we're gonna add in really gradually. If you add in all the sugar at once, it's gonna deflate our air bubbles that we just whipped into our meringue. Once all the sugars are in, we're gonna increase our speed and whip until we get a stiff peak. Now this is a soft peak. You can see it's not shiny and it's not holding its shape. I'm gonna whip it again for about 3 to 5 minutes until it becomes shiny and glossy with a stiff peak. If you are already subscribed my channel, thanks a lot. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell. I'll be posting new videos every week. I'm whipping my meringue at high speed for about 2 minutes. The total time taken for whipping our egg white is about 4 to 5 minutes. So you wanna watch out for that. Okay, it's been over 2 minutes. Let's check out our meringue. Yes, look at that, a perfect meringue. I'll show you the consistency. A perfectly stiff meringue means when you pick up your meringue, those peaks or tails should hold proudly. They should point upwards without collapsing. Look how thick and stiff our meringue is. Perfect. Now let's mix in our almond sugar mixture. So we are going to add in our dry ingredients spoon by spoon or in small batches and incorporate it by folding method. This is the crucial stage in making macarons and you need to be very careful while doing this process. For folding, what you want to do is scrape around the sides of the ball till everything comes up in the middle and cut through every now and then. Make sure you add in your dry ingredients in small batches, as this helps to control or balance out your folding. And always remember not to overmix or undermix your batter. If you do overmix your batter, they will become too runny. The macarons will spread out too much. They are not gonna develop feet and will become a hollow macaron. And if you undermix your batter, the macaron will have a cracked top. They won't develop the classic shiny and smooth top that you are looking for. So you want to go somewhere in between. Traditionally, you need to fold between 40 to 70 folds to get the proper consistency. If you got a macaron that has feet on it, you have really succeeded. I would stop my folding when my batter becomes a flowing lava consistency or a wet sand mixture. Make sure you are mixing everything evenly. When mixing, you will be popping out some of the air bubbles in the egg whites, but that's okay. What you want to do is, by continuous mixing, we are removing the air bubbles in the egg whites. This causes the consistency of the batter to thin down, and you will need to stop folding when you get the right consistency. The perfect consistency is when the batter becomes a smooth and glossy in texture with no big air bubbles. So when you pull out your spoon and the batter still dripping down, that's when you need to stop. Next, we are going to add our color. I use Wilton Red Food Coloring Gel. Always use a fresh toothpick so that you don't contaminate your icing color. I recommend using gel food color because it gives more color, which does not fade while baking and will not affect the batter consistency. Whereas liquid food color is gonna thin out your batter and is going to fade during baking. Now incorporate your food color to the batter by folding. Always prepare your baking tray ahead of making macarons. You will need 2 baking trays for this recipe. You can pipe macarons straight to your parchment paper, but if you are doing for the first time, you might get the macarons of different sizes. To avoid that, it's better to use a macaron template to get a perfectly even circle. Then place the parchment paper on top. For piping, I used 1A round nozzle. I find it's perfect for the macarons. Push the nozzle until it becomes nice and tight with the piping bag. Take a tall glass, place our piping bag, then fold back the excess, and let's pour our macaron batter. This batter is enough to get 24 macarons. Now place your prepared baking tray and let's start to pipe in our macaron. Try to hold your piping bag perpendicular to the sheets. In this way you can easily pipe an even circle macaron. As you can see, I did spill some of my macaron batter, so I'm going to use a toothpick to get the excess batter. Always remember to tap the baking tray on the kitchen counter 2 to 3 times. This will release some of the air bubbles which is trapped in the macaron. Now it's time to preheat our oven at 150 degrees or 300 degree Fahrenheit. If you are using a template, do remember to carefully remove it before baking. I recommend using a toothpick to pick up the corners, and in this way we won't be disturbing our macarons. Another critical step in making macarons is to leave the macarons untouched for about half an hour to 1 hour to let them develop a beautiful skin. Resting is very important to get that classic ridges or the feet of the macaron. You don't need to cover up these macarons, just allow them to sit and let the air do the magic. And if you are living in a country with a high humidity, you might want to leave this for a quite a longer time. So how you know the macaron developed the skin after resting? If you gently touch the macaron, they shouldn't stick to your hand. And if they do stick, you may need to keep it for dry a bit more longer. Once all the macarons develop the skin, it's time to bake our macarons. Place these beautiful gems at the center of a preheated oven at 150 degrees for about 15 minutes. Place them on a cooling rack and let them cool down completely. Look how perfect and beautiful our macaron came out to be. As you can see, we have got the classic ridges or the feet with a smooth shell. If you got a macaron that has feet on it, you have really succeeded. When they are cooled, they should come easily out of the baking sheet. Now let's pair up our macarons. Try to pair up equal sized macarons. Remember that I have made small spills when piping, so those macarons are gonna be slightly bigger than the normal one. So pair up accordingly. As I said, this recipe yields 24 macarons. Now let's fill in our macaron. You can use any type of filling like buttercream, chocolate, ganache, whipping cream, and even jam. I'm gonna use my white chocolate ganache and I will leave the measurements in the description below. Pipe your desired filling onto your macaron. Be extra gentle when you are taking your macaron because they are so delicate. There are no rules for filling up the macaron. You can increase and decrease the filling according to your choice. And carefully top it with the other shell. I have placed some tiny roses and leaves made out of fondant on top of my macaron to make it more attractive. Thank you for watching my video. I hope I included all the information you need for making the macarons. I suggest you to give it a try. I'll see you guys in the next video. And remember, dessert makes everything better.